It's Wednesday, and I have a wacky question. Now, this topic, if you're following me on Facebook, you may know is already circulating on my Facebook. I wanted to bring it here. There's a live video. If you're not watching me on Facebook, there's a live video where me and Carla, but Funny Hicks, have a full-blown discussion. You can see my voice is gone because I was yelling and screaming. Very passionate about this question. But if you want to see or get more about that conversation, you can go to Carla but Funny Hicks page, or you can go to my page, Charnel Patterson on Facebook, and you can find the full conversation. But this Wednesday's wacky question is a woman deserving of love and respect if her house and her aren't clean on a regular basis? If she has poor hygiene and her house is dirty, is she deserving of love? There was multiple answers. Now, there were several responses. Most of them were saying, no, I couldn't put up with a woman that was smelling and stinking. I stood alone for the most part, and I'll tell you what my stance is. If you are following me on Facebook and participate in that conversation, feel free to jump in the comments here. Carla, feel free to jump in the comments here. Anybody, feel free to jump in the comments on this wacky question. Now, I stood completely on the other side, which was that person is still deserving in love. In fact, that person needs a shit ton of love if you're seeing poor hygiene, which is a symptom of poor self-care. If this person has a symptom of poor self-care, that means that they are doing really bad. And I don't know if you've seen those lighter videos where it says life has been really hard to you, and then you need another lighter to come spark the light in the lighter because the gas hasn't gone. Someone just fucked up with the spark. But if that lighter doesn't see another lighter, what happens? What if this lighter never comes and gives that spark? Which for a human is sitting with them through that mess, sitting with them when they stink, and letting them know, like, hey, I love you. I don't love the stench. I don't love the uncleanliness. And I know that there's something else going on. Even though I smell the odor, I see you. So is a woman deserving of love if she is dirty and stinking all the time? Yes. Your poor hygiene, the state of your hygiene, the state of your self-care does not measure the amount of love that you are deserving of. If you're deserving of endless, safe, pure, unbiased, without an agenda love. Everyone is deserving of that love. I don't care what you did. I don't care what state you're in. Your consequences should be separate from the love that you feel. And if you're using love to punish someone, that is abuse. It's emotional abuse. So no, in my opinion, a woman deserving of love does not change because of the state and the condition of her house. And I'm gonna walk y'all through my house right now so y'all can see. I struggle with mental illness, bipolar disorder, really, really bad. I have PTSD and general anxiety disorder. Sometimes I lay in my bed and don't move for hours. I can be paralyzed by depression. It is in those moments that I'm fighting suicide. I'm fighting to just breathe and take another breath. As my mom would say, Chanel, sometimes a day is too hard. And sometimes you gotta break it down and take it 1 hour at a time. And sometimes if 1 hour is too much, you take it and you break it down into 1 minute at a time. And she said, if 1 minute at a time is too much, you break it down and you do 1 second at a time. She said, because if you can do 1 second and you do that for 61 times, you'll get to a minute. And if you can get to a minute 60 times, you'll get to an hour. And if you can get to an hour 60 times, well, you only need 24 for a day. But you get the point. You get the point. You don't need 60 hours in a day. You only have 24. The point is, sometimes that moment is so hard. I want you to understand with suicide, they usually regret their decision in the middle once they realize they have actually pulled the trigger or actually done what is necessary to take their life. In those last seconds, They actually regret it. But while they're in their poor hygiene, while they're in their poor self-care, while they're in their isolation, they are fighting suicide. And what you guys do is smell the presence of depression and get up and walk out because it's too much for you. Fine, that's cool. I get it. Everybody should have their boundaries and what they should be able to expect and anticipate and take on. I get it. But you do not tell that person that they are not worthy of love or deserving to be loved because of the state that they're in. It is true. Most people are not going to want to deal with you in that state. It is offensive to the people around you. We can say that. But even in an offensive person is still deserving of love. The ultimate sad thing is that what you guys don't realize is when you see that person in that state and you don't say anything to them and you just make fun of them behind their back, or you leave, or you make fun of them in their face, you have just given suicide more of a valid reason on why it should happen for them. You validated for them, whether or not you know that you gave validation or not, because validation is something that you can give unintentionally. And what you did is just validated the need for death. See, nobody wants me. If they're in poor hygiene and poor self-care, trust me, nobody loves me, nobody wants me, nobody cares about me. Thoughts that are always going through their brain. And I'm not saying you have to sit here and clean up the space. I'm not saying clean up their space. It's their mess. But you can sit with them through them getting up on their feet, because it is the presence of someone else that gives them the spark to stand up. I can't tell you how many times my daughter has given me that spark. And I don't even know if she's intentionally done it or unintentionally done it. My mom has given it to me intentionally, knowing I need it. But people don't have people all the time. I don't take for granted that I have my daughter to do that for me. And I don't take for granted that I have my mom or my granny. Those are my rocks. Not everybody get those kind of rocks. So I don't have to go look for validation from a man. Because if I need it, my grandma's going to tell me how beautiful I am. If I need it, my daughter's going to tell me how important I am to her. And my mom's going to tell me how great I am because that's who she is. And she's seen me from day one. Not everybody has that. Not everybody has that. Validation is so needed. And whether or not you think you're giving it intentionally or unintentionally, you're doing it. You're doing it. And walking away validates the need for suicide, whether you like to believe it or not. And I strongly believe someone saying, well, you can't help them if they don't want to help themselves is a cop-out answer. A lot of times these people are waiting for you to choose those words right there and watch you get up and leave, because people think that help is I come in and now I'm here, you should just be doing stuff. But no, that's not what it means to help a person. Helping a person is sometimes literally just sitting in the same room with them as they cry, so that they can cry in the presence of someone else and someone say, yeah, I see you're hurting. I see how bad it hurts, baby. No, I can't pick them panties up. I got 45 minutes. So keep crying. Because in 45 minutes, I'm going to leave. And I'm hoping that you'll find the strength to pick those panties up before I leave. But if you don't, I'll see you next week. And if those panties are still there next week, I'm still going to sit here with you. And I'm still going to tell you that you are worth love. Because those panties on the floor, whether they are dirty or clean, whether they're in your dresser or on the bed or underneath the bed, does not change your worth of love. It doesn't. It's still needed. And sometimes it's hard to get up. I know. People don't understand how powerful validation is, and that you do not need to agree to validate. You do not need to actually do something to validate other than acknowledge the person's pain. A lot of times people fight depression because they feel like no one sees them. They feel like no one cares. But if you can just say, hey, I got my own struggle going on, but I see that you're fighting. Come on, fight a little harder. You don't have to stop your fight. Just, hey, keep going. I see you trying. You know how hard it is to try and fall and try and fall and try and fall. Just sprinkle words of encouragement. Get up, you can do it again. You ain't gotta do shit, but get up, you can do it again. Yeah, that hurt. You're tired, I get it. You don't want to take the shower, you don't want to touch yourself, I understand. But it still needs to happen, boo. So just know if you don't shower, just know if you don't pick that up, people are going to judge you, and that's going to cause another trauma. Is it right that people judge you for this? No. But it's the reality that we have. I validated that person's experience without bathing them, without cleaning up their environment. And I can't tell you how many of my clients got up and they reduced their poor hygiene. Imagine that. I ain't showered them once. Sometimes, I'll be honest, I did go in there and put on some gloves and help them clean up. Because I knew that they needed to see that one person actually cared. They kept their room clean. You don't have to do that much. That's just me. I'm a caring, giving person. But let me know in the comments, or let us know in the comments, what do you think? Is a woman deserving of love if she does not shower, bathe, or keep a dirty house? Is she deserving to be loved? What do you say, BG? Is she deserving of love? Yeah, she deserving of love? Say yes. My mommy does it all the time. My mommy does it all the time. That's why I'm here, huh? Hi, big boy. Hi, my big boy. So, I wanted to walk you guys through the state of my house. Right now, I'm in my studio. This is where I spend like 90% of my day. But let's turn on the light so you guys can see what my space is looking like. And this is my studio. I'm usually sitting right in this space somewhere, working on something. My journal, my calendar, my weed, everything. This is a mess, as you can see. I just kind of throw things here that I'm working on, need to use. Like, I think these are costumes, paper that needs to be put away, protein water, just shit that I need to get to. These are my clothes, because the washing machine is right here. BG, I usually don't pick them up until I'm washing them. BG loves to sit here next to the doggy gate, and he likes my clothes. So sometimes I just leave them there. They're dirty anyway. They need to be washed. So, here's my dirty clothes. As you can see, there's BG, more dirty clothes, because I don't have, when I moved in, I did not stay with my job long enough to get actual dressers and drawers. And then my room is rearranged right now because I shampooed the carpets a few weeks ago. Not a few weeks ago, last week. I shampooed the carpets. I'll turn on the light here so y'all can see. I shampooed the carpets, so my bed is usually like in this area, closer to this outlet, but I moved it to shampoo the carpets, and I just haven't had the energy to restore everything after I shampooed the carpets. You can see BG here. He's comfy. This is the bathroom. My bathroom is a mess too, as we can see. Right. This is my living room. Now, the living room is usually a mess too, but I did bring my pole back in here because I struggle with depression really bad. BG's a really good boy. He does not like to go in the house. He's a good boy. He does not like to go potty in the house. But if I'm really depressed and I don't want to go outside and I'm on my isolation tip, I will lock myself in this room with BG on the other side of the door, and I'll stay in there for 12 hours or so. BG usually has this, which is the mop is right there. Some type of accident down here, so I have to clean that up. And I do so. I have things like my bleach, right? This says ammonia, but what I do is I keep water in it. It had ammonia in it. I used it all. And I put these little tablets in there, and it turns the water to bleach. Now, this is probably maybe 2 weeks of not doing the dishes. Now, when I do clean, I do not like germs, right? Which is why I stay in the studio in my bedroom for the most part. But this is why you'll see different sets of gloves. I don't like to touch stuff, right? When it comes to cleaning, these gloves are specifically for washing the dishes. These gloves are for cleaning the kitchen, right? These set of gloves. And then these gloves are for whenever I clean something dirty. Something like, now when I take these gloves off, I'm very adamant about washing my hands with a little bit of bleach and a little bit of dish soap. I'll wash the gloves while they're still on my hands. But they're specifically for like if I need to clean up BG's poop, he had an accident, or if I need to clean up something dirty, icky that I don't want on my hands. That's what this is. Usually the bathroom, I'll use this for too. But this is the state of my house. And someone, what you guys are saying is someone like me isn't deserving of love. But we're negating the fact that I've been through, I have bipolar disorder, I have bipolar depression, I have a shit ton of PTSD. And yet somehow, because you guys want to see my fridge? Because I struggle. You guys see my fridge? It is what it is. I don't eat. I can't tell you guys how many times I don't eat. I just won't. This thing that's hardly ever gets open. What you see right here is me going to the store and not putting the food in the fridge. Look at this is prebiotic yogurt. It's warm. It's probably not any good anymore. It's probably been on the counter for at least 2 to 3 days. On the counter, I just come in here and I just bring stuff in and I just drop it. This is all groceries that just hasn't been put away. Why? Because there's no one in here to help me do that. So if I just throw this here, who's going to come help me? In fact, the people that need to come help me, the people that I need to come support me during this time has determined that I am not deserving of love because I don't love myself if I let my environment sit like this. But the reality of mental illness is that you're lacking in self-love, is that you are having a hard time taking care of yourself, and you are going to shame the person because they're not taking care of themselves. You don't love yourself, and so therefore you're not worthy of my love, when it is love that they are lacking. Make that make sense? I'm going to show you guys my studio bathroom. So this is my studio bathroom right now. This is usually cleaner than what it is right now. There's some weed on the counter. My pipe. Makeup tap napkins. But it's usually cleaner than this. When I cleaned the carpets, I threw everything in the bathroom so I could get in here. And usually my stripper pole is in here too. But I just wanted to show you guys what it's like to have bipolar disorder, to have PTSD. Not everybody has their symptoms this way. Not everybody spills them this way. This is how my symptoms manifest. And if somebody else's symptoms manifest the same way, I'm letting you know, telling them that they are not worthy of love is only going to exasperate, worsen their mental state. Think about what you say just before you say it. And no, you may not be the one that can sit with them through it. But that does not mean you need to spit vomit because you can't sit and take the blood that they're emotionally bleeding.